Burnout is a common problem in general because it affects everybody, anyone. It's also a common problem in a church. There are certain jobs which are predisposed or experience burnout, like physicians, doctors, nurses, and even pastors are also can experience burnout regularly. There's a clear-cut signs and symptoms which is experienced during burnout. One of them is feeling exhausted. Exhaustion can be due to emotional or physical or behavioral burnout. Okay, like when we, for example, in physical symptoms of burnout is developing headache for no reason, pain all over the body, stomach ache, and those are the physical symptoms of burnout. Emotional symptoms and signs of burnout is that somebody will just become tired, or he's irritable for no reason, and he wants to be alone and isolate himself. Many risk factors for developing burnout. One of them is being perfectionist. We know perfectionists, they want everything tip-top. That also can predispose us to burnout. Control. Some people want to control everything, and they don't want to delegate. They want to do every work by themselves. That also can predispose. That's also a risk factor for burnout. Burnout is preventable, and it's also reversible if somebody develops burnout. The first, of course, we have to try to prevent it as much as possible. One of them is we have to have priorities in our work, in our workload. It's always good, a good advice to start what to do, things to do for today, and then go one by one. Start from the difficult one, go to the easy one. And the second one is also you have to have a boundaries. It's good to say no at some time, because there are some of us who are good for everything. It's difficult to say no. Third one is we have to look after our physical health. Like we have to eat balanced diet, we have to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours for adults, and we have also to do exercise regularly. Exercise is an antidote to stress and burnout. And it's also nice to talk to our God, like praying regularly, meditation, praying regularly, and reading also spiritual books. They can reduce the stress and the burnout. As I said, burnout is preventable and reversible. Jesus knew the burden of the burnout. He used to call his disciple to come with him and go somewhere separately. And in Matthew chapter 11 verse 28 to 30, we read there that he was inviting his disciple to come out and surrender their burden to him. So say, come out and submit your burden to me, and I'll give you rest. So we get the true rest in Jesus Christ.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Women Engage, where real women talk about real issues. We are so glad you could join us today. We'd like to invite you to engage with us by visiting our website www.ecdadventist.org and clicking on the Women Engage button. We'd like to hear from you. Post your comments, your questions, and we'll be glad to get back to you. Today we are talking about a very interesting topic, burnout. But before we do that, I'd like to introduce our guest. I'll start with myself. I am Stella Osano, your host for today. And I'd like to welcome our sister. Welcome so much. Thank you for taking time to be with us today and to discuss this important topic with us. Please introduce yourself and tell us something that you're passionate about.
My name is Teresa Tika, and I love to make everyone around me happy.
Wow, yeah, that's a passionate thing that, something that is passionate to you, making people happy.
Yes.
Oh, that's very good. Now, today we are talking about a very interesting topic, burnout. I know we've heard this word many times all over, but could you please define for us, in simple terms, what burnout is?
Burnout is when you feel exhausted, not only physically, but emotionally, and up to mentally. You feel like you are unable to do anything. So when in daily things you feel you have no interest, then that's burnout.
Okay.
Yes.
You feel like you're overwhelmed with things, with stuff.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting because sometimes I like exercise, and sometimes towards the end, some of the trainers will say, now it's burnout time. It's time to work the muscle until it can't work anymore. You overwhelm it until by the time you're finished, if it's the leg, you feel like it's cramped. So burnout here, in the sense, means that you have overworked yourself and overstretched yourself. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some of how do we know how burnout presents itself? Let's talk about some of the stages of burnout getting in.
Actually, the onset, you would say, of burnout is not even the onset. Initially, you're very excited about doing things. You go about, if it is visitation, you do all that interests you in life. But as days go by, as years go by, you don't do them anymore. You are a bit reluctant in doing things. So you feel like it's no more anything. So, and then after that, after some time, you even stop even dressing well, even doing anything. You don't even interest in buying a new shoe or a new dress. That's the onset of burnout, and you're actually getting to dangerous grounds of not even greeting even in your family.
You start losing interest in the things that once excited you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that's how burnout sets in. And how does it progress from there if it is not watched? Because it's important to watch it at the onset, but if you don't even notice that you're getting into burnout, how does it progress from there?
When it progresses, you may have that even your system is coming down. You may have pressure. You lose a lot of energy. Even if you're working, your work is not up to standard. You start giving excuses. You start saying, I am sick. You really are not there in life. You don't even call your friends. If they call you, you don't even sometimes pick the phone. And it has affected your system. And if you're not careful, you will end up actually your system getting sick. Then you end up maybe getting stressed in a way that you will start having a condition.
Okay.
Yes.
And once you reach that stage, could it be some of the causes, even as we talk about the stages of burnout, let's talk maybe about the causes. What could be causing, for example, if I enjoyed my job at first, what might make me stop enjoying it? What could be some of the causes of that? The causes of burnout.
Now, if you're in a job, for example, maybe you don't have a job description.
Okay.
You don't have that which guards you in your job. No one appreciates you. You start coming down. You do something that no one says, oh, well done. It starts to put you down. Then in the end, you don't have guidelines to guide you in your job. No increment. You go out, you do something good, nothing. That brings burnout in the work. And also when you change from maybe job to job, there is no job satisfaction. Then that sets in burnout.
That can also bring in burnout. I'm also
Yes.
thinking of a situation where maybe you have several supervisors and one gives you work and at the same time the other one gives you work and you're trying to juggle this, and in the process you can easily be burned out because all of them are expecting their work to be done now, and none wants to listen that you have other work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what you're saying. When you have too many and you are not organized, it brings confusion to you, and just all over you. You are just, you can't even make it. You start giving excuses, as I said, this one excuses. But if you are organized, then you can manage, and even say that I'm not able to manage in order to curb away burnout.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are some of the physical manifestations of burnout? Like physically, how would you feel if you're going through a burnout?
If you're going through a burnout, you may not even have energy to do like physical exercise. You don't cook well in the house. You are replying badly in the house. You are quiet in the house. You know, you are not visiting. You're not getting out of the house or out of your box. You know, in the box that you made yourself, like in the office. You will not even get out. You're just there. Yes.
And so it affects you. Maybe also, as you said, you feel physically tired. Could you be maybe headaches? You start getting sick because I think it begins emotionally and then it starts manifesting itself physically. I think there are some people I've heard who say they even have stomach upsets, you know, because of a lot of stress that they're going through. They're feeling overwhelmed, so they can't even hold down the food that they're eating. So these are some of the physical manifestations. And also, as you said, emotionally, you can feel like you're drained. It's like you can't give anymore to anybody. It's like everything has been taken away from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about how, as women, this is Women Engage, how as women, sometimes we go through burnout because of maybe the balancing of work, if we are working, and home life. Can you speak to that?
Actually, it's very common in women, work and home, wife and children, you know. I will even say an experience. Just this morning, I was up and down, and I had to prepare many things. And I felt I am overwhelmed. I get the speaker tells me I'm far away and I'm not able to connect. And I say, Teresa, you've got to get a sermon. But initially I got overwhelmed. I said, Lord, am I going to manage this? I am here preparing to go to the media, and then I need to prepare for the sermon. But you know, I got reminded. In the Bible, the Lord says that He cannot give you something that you are not able to manage. So that guides me. Even when you are a mother, you know your place. You know when you've got to take care of your children. You know when you've got to take care of your husband. You know when to cook a good meal so that the people around don't say, I am going to eat out. So I had to balance that. When I remembered, the Lord reminded me that, Teresa, this is your time. You will manage it. Okay. Yes.
That's very good. And that's an up-to-date experience of, you know, how somebody can be burnt out. And I hear some external forces that can, you know, sometimes they're out of your control. Like you said, this speaker could not manage to log in, and you had no control over that. So that can bring stress, which can lead you to burnout. Also, as a mother and wife, I have found my own experience that if I take in too much, like sometimes I don't have help around the house, but if I insist that the whole house must be cleaned every single day, I have to do ABCD throughout every single day, then I will definitely be overwhelmed. Yes. Because, you know, I'm not superwoman. And I think that's a problem that most ladies face, that they want to be superwomen, you know, do their work perfectly well, and at home still, you know, prepare the best meals and keep the house spick and span. And in this world of today, I don't think it's possible to do all those things.
Yeah. It isn't. Yeah. Just to add on that, it's very important to relax. I have a slogan that I say, no one is dying, so that I am able to relax and do things. Even if they're dying, we will call ambulance so that they are taken off, so that I can not get into that stage of getting burnout. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm hearing you talk up when you say no one is dying. It's more, for me, that's more of prioritizing what is important that needs to be done right now, and that, you know, must be done, and what are some of the small things that they can stay.
It can wait.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. I recently went to a friend's place, and we enjoyed our time together. And then when it was time to go, she looked at the kitchen sink. And she was depressed. She was like, all these dishes and all that. And the husband said, no, just close the kitchen door. Nothing bad is going to happen. For now, what you need to do is to just relax. Don't overwhelm. Because, of course, because she knew she was going to get visitors from the previous day, as the way women, we prepare. From the previous day, you plan the menu, you say, I'll cook chapati, what. And because she doesn't have help, she has to do all those things by herself. So by the time the visitors have arrived, she has already physically worked herself tired. And then she's still thinking of those dishes. So the husband said, no. Now it's time to relax and just leave those dishes be. You can wake up in the morning and do them. And sometimes my personality is also that one of, there's no way I can leave the kitchen dirty. But I have learned to avoid burnout, to avoid me, being not at my peak. Then I can actually, there are things which I call them the small things that you should not sweat over, like dirty dishes. They can always be done in the morning when you're fresher or something like that. Yeah. So as women, we need to know how to set our priorities right.
Exactly. Have a plan. Have a plan that I will do this. You cannot do everything.
It's true.
Do that which is for that moment.
Yeah.
And that will help.
Yeah. Do that which you can do, and the rest will be done later. As you said, no one is dying. And my husband always says, even if they die, there's nothing you can do about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about taking a break. We just said about taking a break, but how easy is it to actually just take a break? Because sometimes you have deadlines waiting on you. How easy is it to take a break?
It's not very easy to take a break. It's like you need to learn to self-care. I'll tell you what, in my work life, I would go to school, I'm chasing this, I'm doing this for my family, not my nuclear family, but my siblings. And I got to a point, I said, Teresa, you need to do one thing at a time. Now, in the process of doing that, I discovered that I was neglecting my family. I was in the church choir. There I am singing, but my children could not be in church. I had to step aside from the choir and take care of my children so that they can also listen. You've got to determine and make an effort of self-care, taking a break off that which is causing you burnout, causing you do important things as you have prioritized. Yes.
And you talked about going to school. I know many ladies nowadays, because of, thank God, online classes and evening classes and all that, people are able to go back to school. And so this, unfortunately, also has caused a lot of burnout in many people, because most people have a day job. So maybe you work up to, let's say, 5, and then attend class from maybe 5:30 to 8:30, and then still, you still have to go home and become a mother, a wife, and a homemaker. And so if we don't watch out, as you said, to take care of ourselves, then we won't be able to take care of everything else.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we have to prioritize. And taking care of yourself really is a personal thing. It depends on what makes you feel relaxed. For some people, maybe just sleeping.
Exactly. It's really do that which you like most, that which you enjoy. It adds many years to your life. Making you get back to yourself and see, where have I not done, and sit down and do that which you enjoy, and it will work. There will be no more burnout. Yes.
And personally, I have to learn to do that, because I'm the type of person who can hardly sit down when there's something that needs to be done. But I'm learning that when I do take time to take care of myself, then I am rejuvenated and I'm able to take care of all these other issues. Sometimes it's as simple as just putting on the music that I enjoy, and just closing my bedroom door and just being there by myself, reading a book, or just being there, just taking time to rejuvenate myself and to get back to a good place. Because if I'm not, then I will be, as you said, I become irritable. Even my children don't enjoy being around me, because I'll maybe be shouting at them, or I become an unpleasant person.
Exactly.
So it's important to take care of ourselves physically and emotionally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You want to talk more about the emotional well-being, because I know if you are not well emotionally, even physically, it will be affected.
It's important to do that, especially when you come back to yourself. Get yourself alone somewhere and take care of yourself. When you do that, you become whole in yourself, emotionally, mentally. As a Christian woman, get your daily devotion, take time there. In fact, there is when everything else is sorted out. When you come out from there, when you met Jesus, all things are possible. You actually come out a new person in your deeds, in your replies, the way you even smile will tell it all. Even if there was a problem, with Jesus having you talked to him, all things he makes the way possible for you.
Yeah.
But only when you realize that you need to get this healed through Jesus. And when you have your devotional time, then that takes care of your emotional life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also I think it's important for us to seek for maybe some social support. For example, in the house, if you're able to hire somebody to clean up, get somebody to organize the house for you, you don't have to die doing these things, you know. I have a friend who says work smart, not necessarily work hard. You know, some of us are really good at working hard,
Yes.
but it's important also to work smart. If I have a friend who, she knows she loves chapatis, but it's too much work for her to do.
Yes.
So what she does is she gets somebody to do her chapatis once in a while and freezes them. So whenever she needs a chapati, she just reaches to her freezer and she enjoys them. You know, so it's
Lovely.
important to take care of ourselves and seek help when we need it. Yeah, not to be super women.
Lovely. You talk of chapatis. I got lazy. In COVID, I was staying, my son came home and he was wonderfully making wonderful chapatis, learned from a friend from the coast. And I would say, Chris, please make chapatis. And he would do them and freeze them. So did I need to make chapatis? No. That kept me off and I had my nice time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if there are those jobs that you can actually delegate, please do so. Because sometimes we take on too much and then we get overwhelmed at the end of the day. And then we start complaining, oh, you people are not helping me in this house. But we are the ones who are not delegating.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've just said that and I remember that sometimes in the house I do delegate and then I almost micromanage. I said, no, that's not how I said you should cut the onion. You know, there's a time my husband said, once you said do this, just step back and let it be done. You know, don't interfere. Okay,
Exactly.
so delegation is important, but also once you've delegated, ensure you are fully delegated.
Yes.
Okay, so I hope that we can be able to find this balance. And some people have said you find harmony, not necessarily balance, but harmony in the things you're doing. So as closing remarks, is there something you can address to somebody who is maybe going through some burnout or facing some challenges that are causing her, because this is Women Engage,
Yes.
to feel burnt out? Is there any advice you can give that person?
Sure. You know, burnout is not a permanent thing. It can always get off. Once you realize, you socialize, talk to a friend, and in your devotion, remember Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest.
Amen.
My yoke is light. Get that yoke of the Lord Jesus Christ, which is lighter. Don't be carrying burnouts on your shoulders when you're walking, take them all to Jesus Christ. And you will carry an easier one, and you will even go faster. You will even pass doors that are slim because you don't have a heavy burden. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for making time to be with us today and for discussing this important issue of burnout. And I hope that you have been blessed with our discussion today. As our sister has said, do not carry the whole world on your shoulders. Jesus has said, bring all those burdens to him and he will give you rest. And I pray that as you go about our daily duties, we will remember that Jesus is there to help us. So until next time, thank you for being with us. Goodbye and God bless you.
Amen. Bye-bye.